been in pastoral ministry. I've coached high school football, high school track. Was terrible at baseball, by the way. Football was my thing. I was good at tackling people. I'm just there's so much overlap that I found as a pastor with coaching. Right, I come from a coaching
100%.
family. My
Yeah.
dad coached for 30 years before he passed away. My brother is a high school football coach here in the DFW area. Just the sheer amount, like you said something that made me think of this, of like you have no idea the types of things the kids, bring to you that you have to deal with and walk through. And so a lot of times, like you're getting the call that like the EMS person, gets. Like you're getting the call that the pastor, typically gets. You're probably the first or second call a lot of the time. And so just curious, what are some of the things that maybe surprised you as a coach that you're like, man, I really wish that I would have known how to handle, this better, or like knew where to grab some resources. Because that's something that I feel like a lot of coaches are like, man, I got the X's and O's, down. I'm comfortable with that. And it's like, man, I wish I could just coach football, but like I can't. That's not just the, whatever it is. Mm, But just the reality that, I mean, you're like a guidance counselor, for you're the
And
first
sometimes
person a
you're a
lot of these are going
full-blown
to call.
surrogate father.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just whether you want to be or not, that's just what you are.
Hmm.
And sometimes you may not even realize that until much, much later. Like one of the kids that played for me is from one of the wealthiest families in America. Here in Windermere, Florida. That's kind of what you got. Kid, we had to make him take his Rolex off for practice. I think it was halfway through the year. His sister overdosed. His older sister overdosed, died. And then he came in and we talked. And next thing I know, I was hearing things where you're like, brother, you're a legitimate billionaire. I don't understand why,
Yeah.
as far as surprises go, I think that's the first thing that pops into my head is that it was my second year of pro ball. We had a faith night, like a faith and family night, something like that. Had a
Hmm.
promotion, minor league baseball and their promotions. And before it was late in the season, unfortunately, because before the game, they came in and said, "Hey, would anybody mind praying before the game because it's faith night?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do that."
Hmm.
So before the game, when we're lined up for the anthem, and they said, I caught the first pitch, and then I turned around and prayed. And the next day we come in, it was, I don't know. And one of the guys goes, "Man, that was really cool." It's like, what's that? I don't think I could do that. Like I want to, but I don't think I could do that.
Hmm.
And next thing I know, we had a full blown prayer meeting going before every single game.
Hmm.
At, and if I had known that was something that was even an option, I would have thrown that out right away because that sounds like
Yeah.
fun to me. Cool.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, boldness is rewarded. You're going to figure out or realize that thing you thought was so scary actually was the most natural thing of all, more often than you probably think it would be. Other than that, I think the biggest thing, especially when I first started coaching, I was like 23. Like I was still playing, so that was the agreement was I could work out at their facility as long as I coached the middle school team.
Yeah.
And so I'm a kid, and the surprising thing to me was how much these kids looked up to me. And it was something that I took very seriously because like, oh, okay. And then next thing I knew, I'm looking up things that pregame speeches and,
Hmm.
which I probably spent a little too much time on.
Sure.
And I think too, the other biggest thing is that you do get so caught up in the X's and O's. You get so caught up in the wins and losses. From baseball, we're going to work on double cuts and, wheel plays on bunts and
Hmm.
kickoff plays. Or if it's football, we'll work on, any number of playbook
Hmm.
stuff and schemes. And nobody remembers that even 6 months after the season's over. What they remember is the way that you talk to them after they tore their ACL, after they missed the kick that lost the game, after they struck out, whatever. They remember those things and how you treated them, how you talked to them, how you lifted them up, or how you did not. I'm still in contact with my junior college coach, best coach I ever played for. Baseball wise, absolute, just brilliant baseball coach. But more than that, a leader of men in a way that is incredibly rare. And being able to look at him and say, the way he coached us is the way I want to parent my children. That's a pretty incredible thing to be able to say about somebody.
Yeah.
And that should be what we aspire to. That they can look at us as coaches and go, you know what? I want to live my life like he coached me. and make other people feel like he made me feel.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because if you
absolutely. I
can do
know.
that, you're going to get past a whole lot of losses. That
Yeah.
school is going to overlook a whole lot of stuff if they're like, no, no, this is the greatest.
Mhm.
It's the greatest guy on our campus.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, well, and
but
I
it's
know
still fun to win.
yeah.